Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures morning leap session for Monday, October the 17th, 2016. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in the market, in this go-to to look at the market, macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses. We create multiple hypotheses in order to have a plan in place for whatever the market throws at us during the RTH session. This is a subscription room, so if you're interested in checking us out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog, this is not a commercial venture. This is what we do live here in the morning, and then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the day. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and the trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Okay, taking a look at the news. We had some news. We had Empire State Manufacturing came out, big miss there, minus 6.8 versus expected 1.1. 9:15 in about 30 minutes, we've got capacity utilization and industrial production. And then at 9:30, we have Great Britain CB leading index, and then 10:45. Broadbent from Great Britain is going to speak, and then 12:15 we've got Fisher speaking, but the big one will be the ECB Draghi speaking at 1:35 with German President Weidmann speaking as well. So not a lot in the early part of the day, but we do have some stuff coming up later in the afternoon. Taking a look at the macro to micro. I always like to start my day off the same way, and that's taking a look at the monthly. I use a 9 EMA, 20 SMA, and then I work my way down. I'm looking for slope and separation, strength of the trend, where the trend is being challenged or violated. This on the monthly, you can see we had several years of very strong trend, and at the end of 15, beginning of 16, they challenged that. Then they got back above and went and made new highs, 21.9150, new all-time high in the December contract. And I'm sorry, in the September contract, December is 21.85. We are holding the 9 EMA right now, but we did challenge it on Friday and last week, coming down into that 21.07 area and then bouncing. But we are challenging the trend, but we have not broken it yet. On the weekly, a little bit of a different story. We have broken below the 9 and the 20. We had our doji week, and then we had the last 2 weeks very negative, and we're opening this week at 21.26 and a quarter, and we are below the 9 and the 20. We're going to get an MA hug here most likely. A move to up to test 20 from below will take us up into the 21.35, 36 area. Our overnight high is 21.2875, put in just at the open. They rallied it a couple points off the open, and then they failed and went down and hit that 19, and then tried to rally again, and then went down and hit that 21.1675, which is the low of the night. So seeing some weakness on the monthly. On the daily, we had this symmetrical triangle that we are watching with the break below the 43, 44 area. We did get that. We are getting slope and separation to the downside. We've been closing below the 9 and the 20 for the last 5 days. A move to test and challenge the trend will bring us up into that 21.35, 21.36 area, but we are seeing the weakness coming in on the daily. Going into the intraday, you can see that we had very strong downward trend, and then we tried to take it back on Friday's Globex session, and then Friday they gave it back and sold off, and then they've sold off in the Globex so far coming into the Monday RTH session. But we are coming up and testing the 9 and the 20 from below, and we're currently above the 9 and testing the 20. So they are challenging the downward trend on the 4-hour. On the 1 hour, we have taken back the 9 and the 20 right now, looking to try to rally here. We have a naked cross up here at 21.30.50 on the 1 hour. So mark that down on your journal. If we can hold above the 2120 area is what I'm really watching right now, then we could rally up and take out this naked cross up here. So we are finding some support here on the 1 hour. Going to the 30-minute, same thing. We had strong downward trend. They've taken it back now, starting an upward trend, got slope and separation to the upside on the 30-minute. Going to the 15-minute, basically consolidation, and we're holding above the 9 and the 20 right now, getting some slope and separation, possible continuation up. There is a naked cross down here, down at the 21, 20, 50. That's on the 15-minute, and then going on to the 5-minute. You see that we've had some oscillation here, basically off of the news, but we've got an upward trend. They challenged it. Now they're taking it back, so we've got possible continuation coming in on the 5. Very mixed right now. Taking a look at the structure of the market. We've been in this range, basically about a 90-point range. And our key support line continues to hold here at the 2107 area. We came down there and challenged it on Thursday and then took it back on Friday, but they've come back down off of the highs of Friday. The highs were up there in the 2143.25. Our basically our other key line in the sand, our overall longer time frame microcomposite VPOC is up at the 2153 with the value area down here at the 41.25. Our last 5-day microcomposite is centered around 2950. This has been a blunt area of the composite. You can see that this last time we were down here, our microcomposite was right there as well at 2128.75. So they're struggling to hold and accept that value again and continue to move up. If they fail to get above the 2129 and break back inside of the prior value area of the longer-term microcomposite, then we're likely to continue our price discovery down. And if this 2107 does not hold, I'm expecting to come down into the 2000s, and with the next big target down here in the 2080.50. With the immediate target below the 2107 at the 2098 area. Again, back into this gap zone down here that we have not come back down and tested since the breakout that we had going all the way back to the 07-08 breakout candle. So we've challenged it. We bounced pretty strong. There are some buyers down here, but they're not sustaining the upward move, and they're being met with opposing force of some pretty aggressive sellers. So if the bears do take over and we don't hold this 2150 area, then I'm looking for a move back down into the 2107 and most likely a break this time. If we can hold the 2150, maybe even come down to the 18 and bounce, then we could see a continuation pattern up into the 2140.50. Key to for us right now for the bulls is to break this 43-44 area, and above that I'd be looking for a rotation back up into the key balance up in the 2153, which has become pretty prominent moving forward from falling out of the upward microcomposite, which is up here, that centers around the 2175-70 area. We got a lot of repair work still to do up here, so even if we come down, I'm expecting a bounce somewhere down here between the 80-50 and the 35-50. I still think that we'll come back up and test those 70s. We still have unequalized highs up here at the December all-time high at 2185 and the all-time unadjusted high at 2191.50. So taking a look at the overnight, you can see that we opened in the 2126.25. They tried to rally it right on the open, and then they failed, and a nice move down into that 18 CHVN, getting a fractal low down here at 21.1850. Then they rallied it back up, failed to get back inside of the prior day range, low at 21.25, and took it down, put in the new low at 21.15. You can see we had a beautiful FUBAR Mr. Sneaky right here, and that started the rally up, and they tried to rally again, but again they failed to get back into the prior day. So they're failing every time they come up into the 21.25. The sellers are stepping in and moving us down. So our overnight inventory is really net positive to neutral. We are trading inside of the range. We've come back up here again. Again, got met with some selling. We have a little bit of a double top that we just broke, and we're trying to get back into the prior day. The prior day VPOC is up here at the 21.30.50. Remember, we have the naked cross up there on the 1 hour at the 21.30.50 as well. So if we can hold this range, I'd be looking for continuation up into that area, and at least a test of the 30 area, if not up into the 36. So taking our numbers from overnight, our overnight high is just a few points above us right now at 28.75. We're only a couple points off of that. So we've been doing this a lot lately, where we've been coming into the RTH session either at the overnight high or overnight low, and then taking that stat out right away. So if we can hold inside of the value and the range from the prior day at 26, I'd be looking for a retest of this 21.28. Probably even going to make the move prior to the RTH opening. Our downside overnight low is down at 16.75. Our 20-day ATR, or 20-period daily ATR, is 21.26. I'm sorry, 21.76. So our downside daily ATR target, yep, you got it, right down at that key support at 21.07. And then our upside daily ATR target is 21.3850. Got a bit of a double distribution here overnight with the LVN here at the 21.22 area. The microcomposite, the developing VPOC could shift depending on how we trade up here, but right now it is down here at the 21.2075. And there's really not much more information that I can get off of the overnight right now. So we'll just get rid of this, expand this out. You see some buyers coming in here and testing the 21.70, 21.27. Like I said, I expect the 21.28.75 to be challenged either at the open or into the open. So right now, our trade levels we're going to look at, obviously 25 is going to be key for us. I'm not going to use the 21.26 value area low because the low is just right there. So, more likely going to challenge the low than bounce off of the 21.26. But if we can stay inside of this value, I'm expecting a rotation back up into the VPOC and the HVN of the double distribution day that we had on Friday. And then really there's not a lot above us until we get to that 30.50 area. And really that's right at the VPOC. The naked crosses up there, and our microcomposite VPOC is there. Our former microcomposite VPOC is there. So there's a lot going on up in the 29 and 30 area. So if we can hold the range, look for them to rotate up. And then just above that, we've got this 33 area, the VWAP and the midpoint from the prior day. So I'm going to use that instead. For if we break above it, I'm looking for a continuation of value and a run-through value at least up into the 2136, and then 2136 is just below this this 2137 CLVN. It's also just below the value area low of the microcomposite that we just fell out of. So I'll be looking for a continuation up into the value area high and the open of Friday's trading for the RTH session up here in the 3750, and challenge that daily upside ATR. Above that, I'm looking for a move back into that 4050 area, and that starts to bring us up into a very important level, which is going to be that key line in the sand. But I'll be above the 38. I'll be targeting the 4050, or you can even use the 4150. But the key line still remains the 43.25. You can use the 43.75. I'm going to use the 25 simply because it's the range high. But I'll be really looking for us to get above the 44 area for a rotation up into the 47 and a quarter, and then all our levels remain the same above there. The next big target above is back in balance up at the 53. Weekly ATR does not come into effect today, and then the next key line in the sand is up here at the 59 area, and above the 59, then I'm expecting a continuation up into the 60, 75, but really targeting the 62. And then the key resistance is going to be that 66. It was our key line in the sand above last week. And it's really the 66 that we've got to hurdle to get back up into this area. And like I said, we've got all this unfinished auction up here that ranges from 62 all the way up into the 83.50, and then that unadjusted all-time high up at 91.50. Don't know if we're going to get there this week. I see weakness coming in, but we have to be prepared if we do get a run, and 66 is going to give us a strong indication of the return and a possible new all-time high put in and a test of that 2200. Below the 2450, we've got the overnight VPOC down here. I'm really watching this 2150 area. So I know it's above the overnight balance, but if we get below the 2150, I think they'll come down and challenge the value area low down here at the 2116.75, which just happens to be our overnight high. And then again, we've got the September low down at the 2110.50, and below that we've got the key line in the sand and the daily downside ATR target. And I mean, this is a major area for us at 2107. Below that, target the 0450, but I'd really be looking to come into 2100, more likely the 2098. Below that, again, the next big target below is down in the 80s. Got a naked close at 85.75, naked VPOC at 83.50, and then the former and still naked microcomposite VPOC, and where they accepted value just before the breakout down here at the 2080.50. So those are the levels. We are seeing some weakness, so my main hypothesis is still to come down and challenge some of the lower levels. I think we're going to get a rotational day as they start the week out, fighting each other to either get back up into that balance up in the 53s, or continue to push lower down below that 2107. So my main hypothesis is an open auction just in range, or just out of range, and a move up to take out the overnight high, a move up into the 2130 to 33, maybe even 36, but finding initiative sellers and then rotating us down through the lower distribution of Friday, breaking the Friday low, coming down, testing the overnight VPOC, and then failing and coming down into the 2116 area, putting in a new low and testing this 2107. Maybe even a push through into the 2100. So Hypo 1 is an open auction, just in range or just out of range, a move up, finding initiative sellers somewhere between the 30, 50, and 34 area, maybe even 36, but failure to get above Friday's, open, and then rotation down into the 16 area, chopping around 16 at 07, and then breaking 07 and coming down and testing the 2100. So that's Hypo 1. Hypo 2 is a open auction, just in range or just out of range, a move down to test the overnight low, finding buyers somewhere between 1675 and the 07, and then walking us back up, and just a very slow grind up during the course of the day up into the 2130 to 2136 area, and closing somewhere in maybe even a close in the upper distribution of Friday. But Hypo 2 is open auction, out of range or just in range, a move down, finding responsive buyers between 2110 and 2107, and a rotation back up into value, a trip through value, and then closing probably up here somewhere in the 2140 to 2136 area. So that's Hypo 2. Hypo 3 is a open auction in range, failure to hold the prior day range and move down into the 2107, get failure, push through into the test of the 2100, and then continuation and failure, and come down into the 2088s area and into the 2080s, maybe even tagging that 2080-50 and having a bearish continuation day to start the week off. So Hypo 3 is an open auction out of in range, failed to hold the range, push down, strong move down into the 2107, failure, push down into the 2100, failure, and a push down through into the lower 90s or into the 2080s. That's Hypo 3. And then Hypo 4 is an open auction in range, failed to break below Friday's range or get back into Friday's range, a strong move up through into that 2133, 34 area, chop around in here, and then break through and come up and challenge the 43, 44 area, and then pop into the upper 40s, maybe even targeting this 53 and coming back into balance, but getting back into this distribution zone. So those are my four main hypotheses. We don't know what's going to happen, but based on our levels, we've got a plan in place. Just remember, it's Monday, so there's going to be some positioning. It is also option expiration week, so could get pretty rotational coming into the next couple days as people are positioning coming into expiration. That's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.